Hey, this is the other On Cinema at the Cinema podcast, a podcast in which myself, Ramsey, an On Cinema superfan, watches through On Cinema at the Cinema with Caleb, who has not seen the show before. Caleb, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I ordered some aluminum-free unscented deodorant recently, so I'm looking forward to when that arrives and I get to try that out.
Sounds like you're going to smell.
Probably, but I hope not. At least I'll hopefully avoid ruining my shirts with the aluminum that normally comes in.
Is that what ruins your shirts?
Allegedly.
I thought it was the sweat.
We'll find out.
That's interesting that you say that, because I thought people used aluminum-free deodorant because there was this thing going around that aluminum in deodorant gives you cancer.
I'm sure people did that, but that is not the reason why I'm doing it.
I mean, at this point, I'm just I already know I'm riddled with microplastics. So put some aluminum into me. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yep.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about season 4 of On Cinema. But before we do that, we are going to talk about the first annual On Cinema Christmas special, and I think I might have to revoke my superfan card because I actually had no idea this existed. Last week, we were going over the On Cinema Timeline website, and I saw this, and I was like, I've never seen this before. And the reason is because, I've pretty much been watching the show since very, very early on, and I've looked at the On Cinema Timeline website before, but not super closely, because when I rewatch On Cinema, I just do it from memory, and this particular episode never pops up on any of the playlists.
Yeah, it's almost it's not unlisted, but it's almost like the algorithm's trying to hide it. It's like shadow banned or something.
I guess so. But yeah, it was an interesting thing to watch. So first thing I'm going to note about it is they call it the first annual On Cinema Christmas special. They don't do another Christmas special until season 13.
Oh, okay. So that would be that's not really annual then.
Nope.
Huh.
Also, the whole thing, with the Blu-ray player, that makes some of the jokes later in season 4 make a lot more sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's dubbing shit off the Blu-ray player, and Tim seems really annoyed.
Wow. Okay, so you watched the whole show, and you must have been so confused.
I wasn't really confused. I just, it's added context,
Yeah.
All right, so first things first, Greg says happy Hobbit days.
Oh, of course. Greg the Hobbit head celebrating the Hobbit days. I think that it does kind of rub Tim probably the wrong way a bit, just because of the war on Christmas,
I recorded this line. He says he's trying to say they don't let people use Christmas mangers. He says they aren't letting us use manger for display.
So I guess there must be some sort of manger in, aren't they in Hollywood?
Presumably.
Some sort of manger in Hollywood.
Well, this was back in 2014, and people were still having that fucking culture war conversation about happy holidays versus Christmas or whatever.
Well, thankfully, the whole world is going to shit, and so no one cares about that anymore.
No. The first line that really made me laugh was Tim saying, when they're reviewing the second Hobbit movie, he says, Martin Freeman, it's supposed to be Morgan Freeman. And then Tim's, when he's reviewing it, he says he gives it the rare 5 bags of popcorn, which he gives most movies.
Yeah, most movies receive 5 bags. I'm surprised they haven't confused Martin Freeman with Martin Lawrence yet, either. It's just always Morgan Freeman.
So Tim is having a really, really hard time reading the synopsis to the Medea Christmas movie. And it's very clear that he, as a character, has dyslexia. And I think the fan base basically agrees that he has dyslexia. I don't think they actually ever like say outright that he has dyslexia.
No, they don't. It seems too that his general demeanor, what he's going through in his life, including like medical procedures or homeopathic alternative medicine, it seems like all of that kind of influences just how dyslexic he is, too. The happier he is, the less dyslexic he is. The more difficult the situations going on in his life are, the more frustrated and dyslexic he is as well, which is interesting.
The funniest part of this episode to me was Tim talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. I forget which movie they're talking about, but he says, she's very sexy. I love seeing her in those yogurt commercials, which is very, very funny to me. Listeners, if you're not familiar with that reference, Jamie Lee Curtis was in a series of yogurt commercials at the time that was called Activia. And the whole thing about it was that they have added fiber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the underlying joke, even in the commercials, is, you know, fiber makes you shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Very sexy.
Yeah.
I think that it seems like the Christmas special is more season 4 oriented than season 3. The color grading is less ghoulish. The boys look like they have blood running through their veins instead of, you know, nothing running through their veins. They look a lot less like Palpatine. And Tim's hair is also not insane in this one. He's got sort of like a teenage boy's, you know, needing a haircut kind of haircut going on. It's not all spiky like a hedgehog this time around. Yeah, it just seems the production looks a lot more like what season 4 looks like.
Yeah, especially too because they have Tim shows off his cowboy boots, which comes up, I think, in the first episode, the first or second episode of season 4.
So again, you know, you must have been so confused when those cowboy boots showed up.
I wasn't confused. I just, you know, I'm just like, yeah, sure, Tim has cowboy boots.
Austin, Texas already makes an appearance. I'm sure there will be more. They reference Austin, Texas is where he got those cowboy boots. He went to a Liberty rally, which I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's exactly what I'm imagining.
Well, yeah, 2014, I think this would have been right around the rise of the Tea Party and shit. So,
yeah. And Tim also calls The Hobbit the Desolation of Smaug. He refers to it as The Hobbit, the Desolation of the Hobbit.
Yeah, so Tim gives Greg the Blu-ray player, and he seems very disinterested by it. I really found it funny when Greg gives him the On Cinema polo, which is popcorn yellow, and there's that whole like close-up where like Tim is holding the shirt against his face.
Yes, clearly hating it. Yeah, just showing, look how ugly this thing is. Oh, could I real quick go back to talking about Tim's dyslexia?
Yeah.
Because when they're talking about the synopsis for the Amadea, gosh, now I've got dyslexia. Medea Christmas, that synopsis is quite convoluted. And there's one that always got me, which is the synopsis for the show Prison Break, which is a structural engineer installs himself in a prison his company helped design to save his falsely accused brother from a death sentence by breaking both of them out from the inside.
Yeah, those are just words. So we're going to get into season 4, which I'm excited to talk about. I have a lot of notes on this one. I kind of feel like this is the first season where it really kind of starts to expand a bit. Like last season did a little bit, but this one, you can see they're really setting some shit up.
I kind of think of it similar to like, did you ever watch The American Office?
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of The American Office. I have a lot of opinions of it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I stopped watching around the 4th season of that show. Not for anything that has anything to do with On Cinema, but I think in that show it's kind of similar where you have the basic structure is kind of limited to essentially what goes on in this office building, kind of similar to On Cinema, where, 90+% of the show goes on in this one studio location where they're actually like doing their reviews. And so the show creators, if they want to expand outside of just what goes on in the office, they have to kind of be creative and come up with excuses. And I think by the end of this season, like the last few minutes, they come up with quite a fun excuse for how they expand it out.
Yes, which will be very consequential. Yeah, so episode 1, off the bat, really good, bad name, line reading, Eric Banana.
Eric Banana.
Eric Banana.
Well, of course.
And then, like, Tim, like, 2 minutes into the first episode is already kind of losing his temper towards Greg.
Yeah. He's getting more aggressive towards him as well, shutting him down and skipping through his segments.
Yeah. I honestly, the first episode, I don't have a ton to say about. Tim mentions that he loves Ayaka again.
He has a moment of like emotional regret.
Yeah.
Swell up. He sighs as soon as he says, I loved her, in regards to the movie, not Ayaka or his ex-wife, who he did love as well. One thing I wanted to say is that Greg says, in regards to the movie Her, if you've seen other sci-fi movies, you know that robots and computers like to be taken seriously as people.
It's true.
And he also compares his expert analysis of film to the expertise of the Navy SEALs.
I didn't catch that. Battle hardened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he is battle hardened by the end of this season.
The only other note I had for this episode, when they had the 500 movies in 500 days segment, I just really loved Greg's Hobbit head shirt.
Oh, it's fantastic. And the fact that he's wearing that in public in real life.
All right, so episode 2. I have a lot of notes on this one. I think this one is really packed with a lot of good stuff. So at the beginning, Tim brings his infected foot out.
Yeah, just right out.
Greg just looks so grossed out by it.
Well, and he's not wearing any socks either. He's just raw dogging those boots.
Yeah.
So it's just, he can whip them out real quick.
Well, it says diabetes. We'll learn
clearly.
later.
Yeah.
But then we get another really good, bad line reading of a name. Tim Lepina Penis.
Yes, I wrote that down as well. I don't know who he is referring to.
I looked up the director. It's Tim Lepidonopoulos, which I even have a hard time saying, but
Yeah.
Lepina Penis, that's some good shit.
Tim is drooling, thinking about Katherine Heigl and Brendan Fraser.
In the nut job. I love this sequence. It's so fucking funny because, like, he obviously, I think this is the first instance where Tim obviously did not see the movie.
No, he's admitted it before. It was when they're talking about there's like an Ethan Hawke thriller in
last season or maybe season 2 or season 3.
Takeout or something.
He said he didn't see the movie, but this time he clearly didn't see the movie.
Oh,
and he's trying to cover it up. Yeah, it's so funny because he's talking about Katherine Heigl and how sexy she is, and Greg is like, "Well, this is an animated movie." Tim was like, "Oh, it's so realistic, I couldn't tell." And then Greg says, "Well, when a squirrel starts talking, I think you know that it's not real life."
And then he tries to cover again. It's like a Looney Tunes back in action kind of thing where, they're interacting with like real people, It's like, no, it's not.
And after that, there's that whole line where Tim is like, "Yeah, I guess I was just too busy thinking about Brendan Fraser and Katherine Heigl together romantically."
Yeah. Tim is happy that Ride Along is directed by someone named Tim's Story or Tim Story. Tim Story. And of course,
he was like, "That would be my biopic." And then Greg says, "I think you'd call it The Nut Job."
Yes.
Tim gets so pissed off by that.
Tim is not happy. being called crazy.
I do really love Greg's comment about that movie where he says, they cast Ice Cube in a movie that's this hot. You'd worry he'll melt on set.
Yeah, see, it's like a normal joke until he adds the melting on set part.
So episode 3, this is the big one. We get the first appearance of Dr. Sand. So before we go into the episode, what do you think of Dr. Sand? What do you think of this guy?
You know, he's got a really impressive beard, and I'm just wondering what he's hiding under there. That's my impression.
Yeah, not to give too much away, but Dr. Sand, he's going to be a reoccurring character, a pretty important character.
Heck yeah. Well, because they do say in this episode that, is it 4 or 3? Oh, yeah. No, this episode 3, Tim says that Dr. Sand is now a permanent member of the On Cinema team. So I'm sure that we'll see him in every episode going forward.
Yeah, I love the actor who plays Dr. Sand. I don't know how this dude can like keep a straight face while he's saying some of the shit he's saying.
Yeah.
What he says, you have a little bit of liver fire.
Yeah, we got to get the fire under control.
Yeah, something I did want to talk about in regard to Dr. Sand. So this season came out in 2014, and I thought it was really interesting because at the time, alternative medicine was not right-wing coded at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I've been re-listening to On the Funny, and one of the hosts asked if they thought that it was a satire of the right-wing acceptance of alternative medicine. And I don't really think that's what was going on right here, because for at least what I have perceived, I don't think the right-wing really started in mass accepting alternative medicine until basically around the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and I do remember around that time, I think that was kind of the rise of like wellness influencers and just like a lot of people just saying shit on the internet about health stuff. And I even bought into a lot of that stuff because like I've had a lot of issues with chronic exhaustion. Yeah. And had a lot of really dismissive doctors at that time who basically like I would go there and be like, hey, I'm exhausted all the time. I don't know why. I'm relatively healthy. And then they would say like, oh, do you drink coffee? And I was like, well, yeah, I drink coffee. Well, you got to stop drinking coffee. Well, it turns out I had undiagnosed sleep apnea, which I mean, at 22, it's rare to have that, but I was looking into all these like crazy diets and stuff and like trying them out. And so I think that's more what that was maybe a play on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing too that almost like the imagination going in to kind of creating these stories and informing what Tim's character was going to do, what his approach to all these crazy medical issues that he has was going to be, almost like accidentally stumbled into the reality that ended up happening, which is the right wing, adopting these alternative medicine ideas. On the right, there's like this, it's so funny. There's this, I'm about to pontificate about politics, I guess, but like on the right, there's this very strong like distrust of very specific parts of society and like institutions. It's coming from somewhere that makes kind of sense, like you're saying. Like I just had doctors that were super dismissive, and it's like, yeah, I mean, we live in a capitalist hellhole. It's overripe, and we have more science than we have capacity to utilize that science properly. So you end up in these weird situations where, yeah, like you have these terrible symptoms you're dealing with and life-threatening issues, but the hospitals just literally don't have the time of day to actually, they don't even have the motivation to make sure that, you know, they're treating you properly. And so you end up with all this runoff that gets taken advantage of by the right.
Yeah, and I feel like it was a mix between the anti-vax movement and everything, where I feel like actors on the right kind of recognized people feeling disenfranchised, and they were like, oh yeah, we totally understand your plight. We have this alternative solution, which secretly is also a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
Also, it's being caused by immigrants and woke.
That Wuhan virus.
So Greg, like from the bat, fucking hates Dr. Sand. I love that.
Well, because he shouldn't be on the show. Let's keep it to the movies.
Let's keep it about the movies, you know. It's not on cinema on alternative medicine yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about to be. But yeah, and also Dr. Sand is gonna get Tim killed, and then how is Greg gonna continue the show?
Exactly. I just wanted to know, when they were reviewing the Frankenstein movie, Craig calls himself a freaking freak.
Freaking freak? No, he says he's not a freaking freak.
No, he says he's a Franken freak.
Okay, well,
you're mistaken.
I played that back like 5 times, and maybe he's just stumbled over his words, but...
You played it back 5 times?
I did play it back 5 times. I wanted to get that right.
Okay, next episode, I'm going to review this, and we're going to relitigate this.
We'll settle
because
this.
That doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but also I trust Caleb. If you reviewed it 5 times...
I reviewed it like 5 times, yeah. I played back.
Caleb is not a liar, so we'll relitigate this next episode at the top of the episode.
I think he might have, he might have been riffing. He might have stumbled over his words, but... He said that he's not a Franken freak, but that he had seen all the Frankenstein movies in the series.
To close this episode out, really love when Tim says, I don't even have to use health insurance on this because I pay for it on my own.
Seems legit.
But yeah, so episode 4, we get into On Cinema on Alternative Medicine, which Greg gave the idea last season, Greg said last episode, which I mean, just everything about this episode is great. Dr. Sand is shirtless. He's electrocuting Tim.
Yes.
He says stuff like, we'll tonify your blood.
Yep, gotta tonify the blood. And you got to get the fire out of the liver.
Yeah. And they're reviewing the movie That Awkward Moment. Greg says, yeah, that awkward moment with Dr. Sand.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm sure it's very necessary for Dr. Sand to be shirtless. It's never addressed, so, it's taken for granted, really, because of how necessary it is.
Dr. Sand, again, not to give too many spoilers, he will come back on the show. He will often be shirtless, and it will never be addressed.
Hell yeah. Tim does thank Dr. Sand for getting him in the best shape of his life. And boy, does Tim look it. Just a paragon of health, like a real RFK Jr., that one.
Well, I mean, I think RFK Jr. is looking pretty good. He's on those human growth hormones.
And
looking buff as hell.
Eating meats.
Working out with Kid Rock.
Are they working out together?
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
There's this weird fucking video of like Kid Rock and RFK Jr. like doing push-ups together in a hot sauna, and like RFK Jr. is in really tight jeans while he's doing push-ups, and like RFK Jr. is legitimately ripped because he's on gear basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's real funny if you ever want to watch it.
Yeah, he's like got muscles, but he doesn't. He looks very unwell. And he doesn't seem to be like that actually in shape. Like, because I saw him like try to do pull-ups and he couldn't do like a full pull-up.
I mean, a man that age just shouldn't be that buff. That's not that weird.
That's true. Yeah, it's not natural.
But it's okay. Don't take vaccines.
Don't take vaccines, so saith our national health minister. Yes, Tim is proud to be spending all his money on being stabbed in the face and electrocuted all day.
Well, it's his choice, and he's a patriot. All right, so episode 5. So Tim's looking real bad in this episode.
You know, it looks like the acupuncture is having an effect.
I really love that Greg, this season, I think in particular, Greg is just so smug and taking so much joy in Tim either being wrong or having something bad happen to him. Because, like, the whole sequence where Tim's like, yeah, Dr. Sand's dirty needles infected my face. Greg is just smirking like a son of a bitch. I love it.
Yeah. I feel like Greg is being pulled down under. He's being dragged down to Tim's levels. Not all the way, but to some degree, for sure.
So they review RoboCop. I love when Greg says, I wish there was a RoboCop sequel. There never was. There were several sequels to RoboCop.
Yes. Yeah. I saw the second one. It was pretty good.
I've actually never seen RoboCop. I've heard the original's pretty good.
You never seen RoboCop?
No, I've never seen it.
So Paul Verhoeven?
Yeah, I know Paul Verhoeven. Okay. I understand that it's a good movie and it's like really good satire. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. It's horrifying as well.
Yeah. So I have to ask, okay, Jimmy McNichol came up earlier in the other season. Who the fuck is Jimmy McNichol? Do you know who he is?
Okay, well, who's the guy that they interview someone who's in some terrible movie in the early 80s?
Yeah, it was Jimmy McNichol.
That's Jimmy McNichol. That's what I thought, but he's acting like way more like he was like laughing and joking the last appearance, and then this one he's like dead serious.
Well, I bring this up because, like, they have a lot of different, like, celebrities, lower time celebrities and stuff, but they never seem to really be making fun of them. Like,
no,
they're not mocking Joe. They're obviously
they'll poke fun.
They're not making fun of John Aprea. It really does feel like they're making fun of Jimmy McNichol in this episode when they have him being like, hey, Greg, I wish you luck on the 500 movies in 500 days. I'm Jimmy McNichol. Yeah.
I mean, they have him playing a character.
I don't think they do. I don't think Jimmy McNichol is in on the joke. This is the last time he's in the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think they're
because John Aprea comes back up later. I'm like I think he's obviously in on the joke. I mean, obviously Joe is like he's still on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was that guy that was in some terrible movie in the 80s that they were poking fun at him about. They briefly talk about the Lego movie. They say Tim says 3 directors, 2 of which named Chris, the other named Phil Lord. Another ensemble cast with that movie. Way too many names for someone recovering from brain surgery, facial stabbings, neurological issues with their hands and feet, swelling feet, and electrocution to even attempt reading. Tim also gives a movie 3 stars, so he must really be losing it at this point.
He's lost the popcorn bag rating. I was actually surprised Greg didn't say anything about that.
I am too at this point. Well, yeah, Greg gave a movie 100 bags of popcorn earlier. Yeah,
but Tim is using stars.
Yeah, I know. It's just out the window at this point. Do they no spoilers, but I hope they get back on track at some point.
No, it's always going to be the 5-bag system.
Good.
Sometimes 6 bags. So episode 6, Greg is the host. I love this episode. So off the bat, do you think Tim specifically didn't come on the show this week so he could pair him with Larry Terman and make him look like an idiot?
You know, I think Tim really did. I mean, he was recovering from some shit, clearly. I think he did really want to not be there that week and couldn't and, like, was prioritizing his health. But yes, I 100% believe that he he pulled strings to get Larry Turman on the podcast to
well, at the top of the episode, they make it sound like he's just like some local college movie professor, but like Larry Turman's like a very prolific movie producer.
Legendary.
Yeah, legendary. And he's so good in this episode.
Oh, he's fantastic. He knows exactly what his assignment is in this episode. It's almost like he knows what goes into making movies.
Yeah. He just thinks Greg is so stupid. And he's so good at burning him without it being too much. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, you're an expert on filing.
So they go into the popcorn classics, and there's this quick cut from the On Cinema on Alternative Medicine, where it's Tim going, herbs.
Yeah. Just a quick little herbs.
Just a fun detail.
Well, it looks like the production quality takes quite a dip with Greg hosting. So
yeah, that's going to be a reoccurring theme. Is Greg doesn't really know how to use modern technology very well.
Yeah, well, I think Greg is very interested in watching movies and discussing movies. Anything beyond that, which includes making visual entertainment, not great at. Not a lot of passion for it, I don't think.
Yeah. Another great Greg line is when he's like arguing with Larry Turman, and he's just like, luckily they don't actually make a lot of bad movies. Like, I do want to ask you about this. So this is going to be a reoccurring theme. They very rarely give movies a bad review. And when they do, it's like plot focused most of the time. What do you think about that?
I hate to break kayfabe here, but the movies do not fucking matter.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, I think it would be a lot less funny if they had, like, actual opinions about it.
Yeah. Well, they referenced Siskel and Ebert this season because clearly the format is pretty much Siskel and Ebert. And the funny thing about, like, Siskel and Ebert is how they'll rate a movie is not necessarily based on the quality of the movie. A lot of the time it is based, I mean, a lot of time it is, but a lot of time also it will be based on their own personal like biases surrounding the movie. So like they'll rate a movie really low. I think Siskel rated a movie really low, like a children's movie, because he thought that it was going to brain rot children if they watched it. And it's like, well, that's understandable, but also like not very objective. I feel like there's a bit of a reference there in a way.
I didn't grow up watching Siskel and Ebert, but I watched Ebert and Roper, which was the successor to that show after Siskel died. And I remember being young and them reviewing Memoirs of a Geisha.
Okay.
I've never seen that movie. I don't know if it's good or not, but Ebert gave it a bad review, and he said specifically, I don't understand Japanese culture, and that's why he gave it a bad review. And I was just like, that's not a good reason.
That's not at all.
Maybe you shouldn't just review. You should just not review the movie then.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe criticize other things about it, like the cinematography or the acting.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah. I think I was like 12 when I watched that and being like, that's stupid.
Yeah. It too reminds me of like when they talked about Eraserhead and
that gross baby.
And like Ebert kind of got it, but like Siskel was just like totally confused. And it's like, well, even if you don't get the themes and stuff, it's like clearly a really well made movie. It's just like, I don't know. I really like Eraserhead. It's kind of funny, surreal bit after funny, surreal bit.
I've never actually seen Eraserhead.
It's really fun. You should watch it.
I just know there's the gross baby.
It's like really fun and really miserable at the same time.
So episode 7. So Tim has diabetes. Greg was correct. I really love the detail in this episode where Greg says his dad was visiting and he bought him a microwave.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me that Greg can't buy his own microwave because like they're really cheap. He even knew they're cheap, like, but also they have so many microwaves for like $10 at Goodwill.
Yeah. Yeah, almost. Well, I mean, he's got to save his money for VHS tapes, though.
That's true. That's true. Even without Dr. Sand, Tim is still getting caught up in alternative medicine because he's convinced that just chewing on flax seeds will cure his diabetes. And again, I can't lie, around the same time I did some weird shit. Like I did some weird diets because I was just exhausted all the time. So I was doing like weird restrictive diets thinking it would help, and they didn't. But I do really love the shot though where he's chewing on the flax seeds and then just like spits them out.
Yeah, he's like, I'll finish those later. It's like, are you going to finish the spoonful or are you going to finish the bowl full? I'm not sure. And he said that he has to overdose on the flax seeds.
Yeah.
So he's got to eat a lot of those. And Greg calls Larry Terman an academic, not a film buff. Not someone who really understands cinema. And it's like, Greg, no, you're the fucking quote unquote academic in this situation.
Later on in the series, he will say having a college education about movies is a hindrance.
It explains a lot. And also, Greg does not understand why they don't make VHS anymore.
It's true. All right. So episode 8, we open up with Tim. He's trying to say, I don't know the person's name, but he keeps saying Jam, Guam, and says, that's not the name for a man. That's the name for some sort of soup.
Sounds pretty tasty.
Yeah, and then they review that Liam Neeson movie, and he says, God bless Liam Neeson. I am so proud of him.
Yeah, he loves Liam Neeson. He says that...
Well, he's catching up on Tom Cruise.
He is catching up on... He's gaining on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of Liam Neeson pissing his pants?
No.
Yeah, apparently Liam Neeson, there's a few theories, but there are several images of Liam Neeson in public meeting fans looking trashed, usually at bars, and he's got piss stains on his pants. So there are a few theories. He's old.
Yeah. He's
got a massive hog. And when you have a massive hog... And
you produce more piss?
No. We gotta be accurate on this. If you got a massive hog, you go to take a piss and you shake it out. I mean, you're not getting all of it, right? A mere mortal.
I mean, even with a massive hog, you gotta do the lift and then drop, lift and then drop and then shake method. Couple of times you get all the piss out of your urethra. Anyway, this is the Other on Cinema podcast in which we talk about how not to get piss stains in your jeans.
Yes, and I just want to say I've known people with massive hogs, and they maybe they had an amount of this problem, but not the amount that Liam Neeson's having.
He's old, more power to him as long as he's not doing anything problematic. Go out there, get wasted, piss your pants.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, so this episode, Tim gets pissed about the dubbed tapes, which makes a lot more sense now that I saw the episode in which he gives Greg the Blu-ray player, and it becomes clear he's burning or dubbing the Blu-ray movies onto the videotapes.
Which I will say Tim should almost be happy about, because, hey, Greg's getting some use out of the Blu-ray player, one way or another.
That's true.
But he's using it to destroy the integrity of the show. Bringing these homemade tapes.
So this episode, we get the first appearance of Decker.
Yeah, I was so stoked.
Were you previously familiar with Decker?
I have not seen anything related to Decker other than like thumbnail images when
oh, that's great.
Back when I had algorithms on YouTube, it would show me like new on cinema stuff. So I've seen a lot of like I haven't, again, I've seen like a few clips of On Cinema here and there, but I haven't seen stuff like that. I've stayed out of because I'm like, well, I'm not going to have any context for this. But yeah, I've seen images and I'm like, it looks like a geezer teaser, like Tim's own geezer teaser. And so I've been super stoked on it. And
well, we're going to get a lot more Decker.
I'm going to say something. This is the first moment in the show where I've been like genuinely, unironically excited. Like, where I'm like, yes, I want to see more of this.
Well, the next couple of seasons, you're going to be pretty happy because there's just going to be more and more Decker.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote down my favorite part of this little teaser they have is Joe Estevez saying, I want you to go to China and I want you to assassinate every goddamn Iranian you see.
Did he have him ask him to go to China?
I heard that.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I was watching this and I remember being like, he said China, right? And I rewatched it.
Okay. I did not rewatch this one 5 times. I thought he said Iran.
He might have said Iran. I don't know.
But I just, if Decker was real, the U.S. U.S. would be negotiating their own terms for the Iran deal right now instead of the other way around.
Yeah, it's
single-handedly.
It's funny timing. We won the war with Iran.
Yeah, we won. All we have to do is everything they ask of us and give them $300 billion.
Jeez, fucking. Anyway, not gonna.
Did it get too real there for?
No, it's just I have mixed opinions on this because, like, obviously the whole thing is bad, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, I'm so glad it ended like this because Trump has just humiliated himself. And yeah, anyway, probably gonna cut that out. I don't want to make it too political, but
yeah. Well, we'll be paying $300 billion for Trump's further humiliation.
I just there's some dark irony.
Yes,
to it that you just have to laugh at.
Yeah, if we can't laugh during times of trouble, then it'll be nothing but trouble.
So moving on to episode 9. So the reviewing Walk of Shame, and I really love when Greg is like, this movie's not really realistic because it's really easy to walk in and get a new ID. No, it is fucking not.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Really fucking
especially if you lose everything else that you need to verify your ID. Tim also, he's talking about, I think it was Need for Speed. He said it's starring Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi.
Kid
Is that not how you say it?
I think it's Kid Cudi.
I think it's Kid Coming. Anyway, we get another Stump the Buff.
Another Stump the Buff, and Greg does a lot better this time.
Yeah, he does, except for one point.
Yeah, he almost answered every question correct.
Yeah, he missed the first one.
Missed the first one, but that was just a timing issue. He just wasn't ready, He was too excited. The last one showed that he's willing to sacrifice
money to be wrong.
$1,000. He's willing to sacrifice $1,000 to say that he's correct. I kind of have to respect the stubbornness. He's willing to put his money where his mouth is. So it kind of reminds me of that kid that's eating the apple, but it's not an apple, it's an onion. He's crying the whole time. He's like, yeah, I love this delicious apple. Just tears rolling down his face.
But at least you have an onion.
At least you have an onion. And the illusion of your dignity.
This is actually going to be the last we hear about the Star Trek 4 debut for a while.
Really?
It'll come back up.
Okay, good. But I mean, there's a lot. There's so much more material for them to chew on anyways.
Oh, it will come back up.
Okay, good.
I guarantee it.
Also, Tim is loaded. He's got $7,000 in his checking account.
I could drop right now.
Yeah, like as if he has more money that's allocated for other things. But 7,000,
Yeah.
You just give it to Greg.
Yeah.
If Greg would just concede.
His life's not out of control yet, so he has that money.
Oh, okay. He hasn't wasted it all on getting stabbed in the face yet or electrocuted.
I guess not. All right, so last episode, off the bat, Greg is just like smirking with a shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
Because he has this bombshell to give to Tim.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, so they bring on Joe, and I looked this up. His book, Wiping Off the Sheen, it's a real book.
That's a real book.
Terrible title. Terrible title, Joe.
Really a terrible title.
Yeah.
The cover doesn't look great either.
Yeah. And I feel like Tim kind of insults him a little bit because he's like, oh, yeah, this would be a really good bathroom book.
Yeah.
And I looked into it. He like has like short stories that he wrote involved in the book. So he obviously cares about the book.
Yeah.
But
well, that's Tim the character.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't think actual Tim Heidecker is shitting on Joe.
Tim, at the beginning of the episode, says that it's been a real pleasure coming into your computer screens every morning.
Not every morning, every afternoon, once a week.
There we go. Yeah. He corrected that. He saved it. That just sounded normal.
Yeah.
Yes. And Greg gives Muppets Most Wanted 5 bags of popcorn and 5 newly bundled newborn babies.
Yeah. Because they said it was appropriate for yeah, that was a particularly good one.
And also, Diane Keaton gets referenced, another Woody Allen reference. And I just go ahead.
We didn't really talk about, well, it was like 2 seasons ago when they had the whole Woody Allen segment.
Yeah, they spent so long talking about Woody Allen.
And and
worshiping him.
I really love the under like subtitles where they had like Woody Allen has 3 kids.
But yeah, Tim and Ayaka, very Woody Allen coded.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's on purpose.
I'm curious because, again, I'm going to say this a million times, not to give too many spoilers, but recently there was a Woody Allen reference that I didn't super get, like, because I don't know a lot about Woody Allen.
I've never seen any of his movies.
No, me neither, because my mom was like, don't fucking watch any Woody Allen movies.
Well, I mean, they don't, people don't
actually,
talk
that's
about
a lie.
Woody.
I've seen Ants.
I've seen Ants too.
Which I at the time didn't know was a Woody Allen.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people do.
Why does that movie exist?
I feel like that's another Hobbit movie. It goes in one eyeball.
Do you remember the
other.
plot of Ants?
I know Woody Allen. There's something about the military.
Yeah, okay. So it's literally the same exact... So I haven't seen this Woody Allen movie, but it's the same plot as the Woody Allen movie Bananas.
Okay.
In which the Woody Allen character in his like quest to get the girl joins the Banana Wars in South America. And that's literally the same plot as Ants. Is Woody Allen is an ant and is chasing some girl and like accidentally joins the military.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like Woody Allen in these movies chases girls a lot.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why people don't talk about Woody Allen as much anymore.
It's almost like the first movie he made, he was making out with an underage girl. Anyway.
Whoa. What? I just wanted to say that Larry... Who's
Larry Turman?
Larry Turman, he died a few years ago.
Yeah.
And Diane Keaton died last year. So,
well, this season came out 12 years ago.
Yes, then the specter of death continues to haunt the show.
It's true. So we got Tim's mailbag, and this is so great. Just how happy Greg looks giving Tim the letter. Just he extends his hand like the Grinch. He looks like does. That's the best way I can describe how he looks right now. Is he looks like the Grinch from The Grinch Stole Christmas, and when the Grinch is like looking very like maniacal.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, a little less green, but
well, yeah, because he's not a cartoon character.
Yeah,
He said.
and they fixed the color grading this season too.
Yeah, they did fix the color
I
grade.
mean, he looked more green the previous season.
That is true. That is true. So Tim finds out Ayaka is pregnant, and the season just kind of ends.
And it does just kind of end. And wow, what a cliffhanger, because last season just kind of petered out. This time they're actually having plot happen.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot more plot going forward. It's just going to expand more and more. I feel like this is kind of the first season where they decided where, we're going to make this like an ongoing story, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think Greg is... I mean, that's not just about the movies. That's about... Is he happy because Tim is going to have to deal with some shit now? Is that what he's happy about?
Yeah, I mean, just in context of the seasons we've seen, Tim has just been an asshole to Greg.
Tim has been an asshole.
So I think Greg is just like, I'm going to get back at him. He's been shitting on me. I got this thing that I'm going to have to watch him deal with in real time. And he's just delighted by it.
Did Greg commit a federal crime? Because he opened his mail.
Oh, that's a good question. Probably. Greg will commit some federal crimes later on.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to it.
In terms of copyright law. But
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might be committing some copyright law.
Aren't we always all committing copyright law?
Yes. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen Greg really this happy in general, but particularly at
he has a microwave now.
Oh, man, he
can pop his own popcorn.
He's living the high life right now. Yeah, he can pop his own popcorn. Do you know how much quality of life increase that is for someone like Greg?
It's a big deal.
I'm surprised that he didn't just spend that money on a microwave in the first place. Someone who's such a film freak.
Seriously. I bought my microwave from Goodwill for $10.
Well, and he was buying pre-pop popcorn, which at a certain point just adds up to the cost of a microwave.
Yeah, but if you're an addict like that, you gotta have it every week. You can't go without it for a couple of weeks and save that money.
That's true.
I'm assuming Greg is unemployed.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think Tim is paying him.
Tim is not paying him. And similarly, I think Greg should have just got a microwave in the first place instead of buying pre-pop popcorn all the time. But
yeah, you hear that, Greg?
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes Greg's decision making is questionable to me.
That is true. So yeah, that was season 4. What did you think of it overall? I feel like it. We, like I said at the top, we've kind of expanded a little bit.
Yeah,
there's more plot.
Yeah, there's more plot. I'm curious what the decision making is for Tim and Greg when it comes to the show. Like, how far are they going to push things? How far do they want to keep it contained? What's that balance look like? Is there a point where they tell themselves, oh no, we've jumped the shark?
So next episode, we're going to do the second annual On Cinema Oscar special, which I'm looking forward to talking about. I think that's the first appearance we get of Mark Proch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went as Mark Proch, Colin Robinson. I went as Colin Robinson for Halloween a couple of years ago. This is around the time that I was keeping my hair real short.
Yeah. Greg and Tim are actually in the last season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tim's actually like a reoccurring character in the last season.
Oh, all right. Is he a vampire?
No, he's not. He's I forget who's boss, but he's Guillermo's boss in the office, and Greg shows up as one of he's like on the energy vampire council.
Greg is an energy vampire for
is true.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, great casting.
Yeah,
Great
Joe
casting.
Estevez, watch out. He's gonna get you.
All right, guys. Well, that's all for this week. Till next time.